Hey gang, thought I'd get out into my shed and do some good old-fashioned knife reviewing. This is the Benchmade 940. I did an excited unboxing of it some time ago when I first got the knife, and this will be my review of everything I've come to feel about it, using it fairly frequently since that day. So let's get into the facts first, and I'll tell you what I'd like, and I'll try and think of some things that I don't like about the knife. So this blade length is 3.4 inches, so it's getting towards the larger size in my opinion. The blade thickness is 0.115 inches, made of S30V premium steel according to them. I'd say it's almost just standard steel now in expensive knives, because this is an expensive knife, but anyway. It's done to 58 to 60, as S30V often is. 2.9 ounces on this knife here, so very, very lightweight knife for such a full-sized knife. So this weighs about as much as a Spyderco Delica, maybe a little tiny bit more, but really for such a really long and large knife, it really is quite long. You're getting a really good weight to it, and it's due mainly to the aluminium handle and the very minimal. There is a steel liners, but they're very minimized. They're kind of like rat tail steel liners. What else do you get on the knife? You get a titanium backspacer, you get a tip up left or right handed carry pocket clip. Painted black, you get black hardware, you get some jimping on the back there, you get the axis lock mechanism, which is very, very nice, good fun to use, and yeah, just black hardware in general. That purple backspacer there really sort of radiates a little bit of eye-catching class there in my opinion. So what do I like about the knife? Well, I like a lot about this knife. It's probably no secret. This review probably won't be too long. There isn't really a great deal to improve on, in my opinion, with this blade and how it looks and how it handles. I like very much the blade shape. That's one of my favourite blade shapes going so far. It's a really good looking blade shape, and it is a very practical blade shape for doing everyday carry type knife cuts. So that is things like cutting rope. So it'll cut rope very, very well. Just sort of, let's have a look here. This is some nasty manila rope. Let's cut this. Cuts through that, no worries at all. It's got enough grip and enough feel to be able to maneuver this nice blade as well. Just through that slight hump there, keeping your finger in place, as well as the jimping on the back, which does dig in just when you need it to, like good jimping does, and you've got a little bit of jimping there too. So the blade in combination with the handle, funnily enough, both being quite good, makes for a pleasant cutting experience. I like the stabby little reverse tanto tip. That's really good for doing fine little cuts into, say, plastic packaging and things like that. But then this nice long flat edge here is really good for working up against things like that rope, as you saw, and this rope can really make a mess of blades that aren't particularly sharp or ground particularly well. So there you are. I really like the axis lock. The axis lock's probably one of the most fun locks to use, if not the most fun lock to use. An axis lock knife, in my opinion, is about on par with a flipper knife in terms of being fun to do. So very, very good. Just for a size comparison there, it's the Spyderco Mantra, which is about the size of a Spyderco Delica. So you can see there, it's about a finger width longer than the Spyderco Delica / Mantra series of knives. While we're at it, let's compare it to just a standard Swiss Army knife. We all know how big a usual Swiss Army, say Spartan type knife is. There it is there. So I like that too. I really like, and this is the point of contention for some, I really like the handles, and I like the handle material, and I like how the handles feel velvety. Some people really don't like they think it feels a bit cheap or a bit painty or something like that. I think it's a really nice velvety feel to the handle, which it doesn't really enhance grip or anything, but it makes the aluminium seem a bit warmer, which is a really interesting little feature there. So I know it's probably not intentional, but it just feels soft to the touch. You'll know if you touch and handle one of these knives, that's metal and that's metal, that's cold and hard, that's soft and really nicely anodized, really nicely done. About as good as you can do an aluminium handle, for sure. I like the purple backspacer as well, as I mentioned. The thumb studs are done really, really well. Sorry, I'm used to... How's that? I've had so many liner and frame looks like I'm actually doing this. I forgot to unlock the knife properly. Anyway, yeah, just, yeah, really fond of this knife in general, its appearance and how it handles. That being said, there are a couple of things that I would knock on it. First of all, the clip I'm neutral on. I prefer it came with a stock deep carry clip. I think most people end up changing it out, and I'm aware that Benchmade do that for you if you phrase your letter right. The thumb studs. The thumb studs are done really well. You probably remember, if you do watch my channel frequently, the line steel thumb studs really hurt my finger. These, even if this was a stiff knife, these are really well done thumb studs. Just a quite nice even sort of almost rounded type cut to them, so very well done. So yeah, neutral on the pocket clip, and what I don't like about the knife is there's a couple of fit and finish issues. The blade bevel of mine was a bit thicker in some parts, thinner in others, a little bit uneven, but that's something that'll smooth out when I sharpen it a few times. I'm not scared to sharpen my knives, so that'll fix itself, no doubt, and that'll be not a problem in about 6 months to a year's time. And I'm also not fond of the price. You pay a premium Benchmade tax for this knife, even compared to other Benchmades. By way of example, I know it's less knife, but this is a Benchmade Griptilian, and this is in a much more modern and cutting edge steel, so 20 CV. It's got G10 handles, which has got some sort of lining, or there's a bit of extra work done on the G10 handles, making blue lining there. Whether or not it's lined G10 or whether or not it's just paint, regardless, it's been debated a bit actually. You get a deep carry clip. You get a bit more on this knife for about, in Australia, $60 or $70 less than you get for really quite, in this day and age, basic materials. For a knife over $150, a folding pocket knife, S30V is the minimum of what I would expect, let alone for $300, which is what you pay for these in Australia. Not that it's a bad steel, it's just for $300, I would love to have seen this steel in the knife. The S90V version of this in Australia is about $450, so that was just unreasonable in my opinion. And in America, I'm even aware that you pay Benchmade tax, so probably, yeah, I would go almost as far as to say the whole, or the sum of its parts aren't worth that amount of money, but the knife is so nice and so lovely to use that it probably does have that X factor which brings it up to that value point, in my opinion. However, I couldn't do this review without acknowledging that it's probably, unless you really like this knife and you are sure you're going to like this knife, as I was, you might not feel like you've got your $300 worth once you've got it in hand. Just something to think about, and just all I'm saying. Got to knock it somewhere, and that's where I'm going to. Slight fit and finish issues, and $300 for really S30V and aluminium. Other knife companies give you a lot more for a lot less. Even Spyderco, titanium and M4 for $275 in Australia, and it's a flipper knife, and yeah, it's got a better pocket clip and all that sort of thing. So yeah, definite Benchmade tax. But that is my review. Really happy with it, and it is my favourite knife, just purely because of how it looks and how it handles, how it feels in the hand, the way it fits into my pocket. I love how it's so thin and slim. Just really rides down nice and low. This part's nice and heavy, sinks to the bottom of your pocket, swings a bit like a pendulum. Really good. Deep carry pocket clip, and it'd be a dream. Alright, so that is the Benchmade 940 reviewed. Thank you very much for watching. Pete out.